Evening, everybody. Sorry the video's late. This one was supposed to drop on Friday, but on Friday, a 2.5-hour airport trip turned into a nearly 5-hour airport trip, and I didn't get around to putting the finishing touches on this until now. Also, the barn video I wanted to do is just terrible. I have to completely figure out what I'm going to do with the barn, but in the middle of the barn, I built a small clinic to take my mind off my barn woes. And so I figured that would be a good video for this installment of Nuka World Red Rocket Minuteman Outpost. It's a really simple build. This is just going to be a quick build and decoration video. Nothing too mind-blowing or earth-shattering, things you've seen before. About time we got these pie-shaped metal wedges. It allows me to use my favorite piece in the entire metal tab, and that is the Quonset hut. They call it a wall and a roof, but it's really a Quonset hut. Semicircular corrugated metal construction. Super available after World War II. They built everything out of Quonset huts during the war, and they were repurposed for everything after World War II as well. Nothing says ease of construction like 4 foundation pieces and 2 Quonset hut pieces. Now, I originally put this shack wall in, and I'm actually going to go back to this shack wall off camera. The final tour is going to have the wall I replaced this wall with, but ultimately I run with the solid wall because I put one of the X-ray decorations on the back. But right now I'm looking at the wall going, the materials are different. The semicircle pie shapes are rusted and corrugated. So I go back into Snap and Build and get their metal tile set. And their metal tile set is corrugated and rusted. Blends much better with the USO pie wedges. But let's stay in the Snap and Build. And let's put in a door. There we go. That's what we're talking about. I'm so symmetrical that I forced myself to put a window on just one side. I said, I'm not going to be symmetrical. Both sides are not going to look exactly the same. I'm going to make it different somehow. And so I did the very, very edgy thing. What I inadvertently did was put the Quonset hut just off of the foundation pieces just a little bit, and what that ended up doing was giving me the opportunity to be able to put those floor pieces at different levels, so they all snapped into place quite nicely. I really need to go back and watch some other videos on the scaffolding tile because I still have completely, as evidenced in my apartment video, I have completely lost my mind on how to do. It's just so sad watching me fumble around with the scaffolding tile set. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're all screaming the appropriate. You need to do this, and I'm just not doing it right now, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna watch some videos. I'm gonna do some research. I'll get back to being proficient with the scaffolding tab because I actually use scaffolding a lot. It serves as one of my primary materials for supporting, stairs, obviously, and buildings and walkways and landings and decks and such. It's an easy tool to work with. So I use it a lot. Oh, let's see if I finally get there. Oh, there we go. Hey, we're done. Our long national nightmare is over. I have the scaffolding done. That took a long time. I'm ashamed to admit how long that took to get that into place. Anyway, I guess the idea here that I am doing with the clinic is twofold. I like clinics or medical facilities in general because they can take up 3 slots for settlers, because I always put I always put, you know, obviously the merchant in here. And then I also put in here a surgery center. So we're gonna put the merchant in here first. I think I've discovered that I have a hiccup going on here. My clinic doesn't give me the desk anymore. When they dropped, I don't remember which workshop DLC dropped, but you had a desk that served as a level 3 merchant, and I don't have it anymore. So I've got a conflict that's eliminating the desk somewhere. I don't know about that little work area for a clinic. It just seems to be, I don't know. I'm not wild about that particular mod and how that works. So I'm searching now for something that I can use for a clinic that's just not, you know, one of the clinic counters. And, you know, I love thematic and practical. But I just think that putting a thematic and practical clinic in here probably doesn't work. So maybe there's something else that I can pretend. Just keep going back to that and I say, no, I don't like that piece. So maybe there's another piece somewhere where I can put in so lost and confused. Is there anything in here that I want to use that's atypical? Something that says, hi, I'm going to do things differently. And I just couldn't find anything that struck my fancy. So I end up having to basically go back to something that I've done before, and that's just to say, you know what? Let's just go ahead and put a receptionist desk. And don't like that desk. Don't like that desk. Let's go back to this one. Tried and true metal desk. Boom. There we go. And I'll just go ahead and put a merchant rug behind it, and all will be well with the world. Taking a look from the outside in, I realize that there's an awful lot of space in the front, that the reception area isn't going to need to be nearly that big, and that idea kind of settles in once I sit down in the surgery chair. Like I was saying, the clinic serves as a place to land 3 settlers that do jobs. I usually have someone operating a surgery chair, and I usually have somebody running the merchant. And then I have somebody, let's see if I remember to put it in. Nope, we're going to make the receptionist area in. Then the third person that I put in here is a Phoropter operator. And I like the Phoropter because I chose the option that provides happiness for my settlement. Because once I get done building this settlement and doing the video and the uploading, I really don't have a plan to come back. Don't think I have any real reason to come back here. So putting it into a position where there's plenty of happiness and plenty of food and plenty of defenses so that I don't have to worry about coming back here, I think is kind of the overarching goal for what I'm going to do with Red Rocket Nuka World. All right, what am I doing here? Oh, I'm trying to put in a little privacy wall so that when you're getting your face worked on, you don't have to worry about people looking over and saying, oh, you're having your face worked on. Woo! So back to these G2M pie-shaped metal wedges and a little place anywhere action. Beautiful. It's not the most private of privacy walls, but it'll do in a pinch. Give the surgery chair a little bit more room because I know I'm going to have to put decorations around it and a person's going to have to stand by it. Another privacy wall for the Phoropter that's going to go in here pretty soon. And once again, place anywhere makes everything better. So I would say that the basic construction is over and the basic placement of things is over. Now it's time to go ahead and do a little decorating. With so many things that I want to build, I'm going to be working on... Oh, the Phoropter. Is now the time that I remember to put in the Phoropter? There's so many things now in the build menu. Takes me forever to remember where everything is. And then things get moved around and I get lost. Oh no. The USO update from a few days ago moved some stuff around, but moved it in and around that I felt was intuitive. I am finding it easier to find things now. Like, I didn't like the idea that all of the metal, like barn pieces, were all scrambled together in the last setup. So now they're organized into, like, the barn has its own tab, and then each color has its own area. And so I found that the USO update was really good at putting everything into a good, I would say, intuitive location. Oh, speaking of, like, so many things to build, I have so many things to build and a lot of videos to make that I'm just not going to be spending a tremendous amount of time on individual, like, you know, OC decorator action. I am really leaning on do-it-yourself to put a lot of stuff in place. So I think it's kind of an interesting window into my psyche about what I think a clinic should have. Like, there are meds and there's towels and teddy bears for the kids, but then, like, booze. You're gonna have to work to make certain that your patients are properly sedated. And I know they probably have drugs, but, you know, a couple shots of whiskey before you get your face worked on is probably a helpful thing. So I think a shelf of booze is probably appropriate. I know after that we're going to be seeing a dentist in the Wasteland. I'd get good and ripped beforehand. That way, afterwards, I wouldn't know if I was hurting because of the hangover or because of the dentistry. I'm not a big guy for using a lot of different lights. I'm more worried about how my game bogs down when I have a lot of different light varieties, and I try to manage the game and its processor and frame rate and stuff by really keeping it to a minimum, like just the smallest amount of light to make, like, the area, it's a balance between believability and minimalism. Like, I believe that this room is sufficiently lit with just, you know, I have 2 bulbs in here right now, but you're going to see me remove a bulb here in a second. In the meantime, I have to find a file cabinet because, well, you know, you got to keep your patient's files in a file cabinet, right? I mean, you know, bureaucracy. The apocalypse has happened, but bureaucracy will never die. You will always need bureaucrats, and you will always need paperwork. So a file cabinet for everybody on site. Yeah, I'm starting to like where everything is landing. It's a simple, cozy little clinic. I don't plan on filling up the Red Rocket like every square foot with stuff. Oh, the endless struggle. What to put on the end table? Ah, more plants. I'm on a plant kick. That's the second one I've used in this settlement. Drugs, typewriter. You know, the receptionist needs to look like an actual receptionist area, right? Oh, flowers, right. Here, feel good about being sick. Yay. What's really funny is when I first played the game, I was, like, constantly collecting typewriters because I love decorating desks with typewriters. And now I can't help but I can't help but still pick up typewriters. Like, I have FreeMaker, right? I could make all the typewriters I want, but I come across a Carlisle typewriter in the Wasteland, and I always pick it up. Always pick it up. I'm like, ooh, Carlisle typewriter, yes! Ah, Fallout 4 has made me such a hoarder. I mean, I didn't have that far to go. My house is kind of packed. Let's not talk about the Nerf hobby and what my garage looks like. But, you know, if I knew that I had a replicator in my home, like a Star Trek replicator that made anything that I would want, I wouldn't have a lot of stuff. Probably, because I knew I could get it. So I know I can get whatever I want. But yet I still walk into an office or a hospital or whatever when I just feel like, you know, going out and shooting up some gunners or whatever. And I see a typewriter, I'm like, ooh, typewriter. That's got stuff. It's a sickness. Fallout 4 has given me a sickness. I put the wrong hospital light in here. I'm going to have to track down the one that actually turns on when there's power near it. I didn't realize at the time that this was not the one that turned on. And it's probably actually a good idea considering that I want to keep the lighting minimal. Oh, that's the other thing I have to do. I have to go back in and finish up this. I did not finish decorating this. I saw a couple people on YouTube who were, and I probably was with Place Anywhere, put some Radaway hanging from those ivy trees. I don't have the space for a gurney. I probably could have put a gurney in here, but I figured that a wheelchair would make up for that. If you need a gurney in Fallout 4, you're probably a goner anyway. Alright, now we gotta figure out how we're gonna wire up the Phoropter. At first I start by putting it on the side, the connector on the side. I know right now it looks like I'm trying to hang it from the ceiling, but I'm gonna change my mind here. What I don't like about the Phoropter is how just awkward its wire up position is. It is in such a bad spot. That wire is so, I don't know, problematic. Thinking about it now, what I should probably do is put a connector on the floor, wire it to a Phoropter, then Place Anywhere the Phoropter over the connector, but not before I run the connector to a connector underneath the foundation. Oh, why did I just think of that now? Because when you get into a building, when you're building, you get into a rhythm, you know, a series of habits. And I'm used to putting it on the top and not running it from underneath. Someone's probably already done that. Somebody who's watching this video is going to put a comment. Yeah, so-and-so already did that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. You are talking to somebody who doesn't have an awful lot of original ideas. I also believe that there aren't any original ideas left. Everything is already, what, don't they say there's only like 7 stories? Like 7 literary stories, and that everything that we read and watch is just a variant of those 7 stories. Alright, so we're getting the Phoropter wired up. Place Anywhere to move that connector over to where the Phoropter is, so that the wire is straight. It's a special level of OCD to put that connector right where it is so that we can hide that wire as much as possible. I was talking about keeping wiring clean in the apartment video, but I don't do as good of a job of that on this particular build. I didn't realize that till I was walking through like a couple days later going, oh my goodness, look at all these wires. What is wrong with you? Speaking of what's wrong with me, I continue to apologize for building at night. It's such a habit. I've done way more building just for my own purposes than for publishing on YouTube, but I promise I'm getting better. I will be building less at night. Although now that I'm at the wiring part of the program where I'm putting lights into place, it's probably not quite as bad. When I first did the Nuka World Red Rocket, I was really in love with those street lights, those Nuka World street lights, so I put them all up and down this road. And my Xbox punished me for it. So now I don't have the street lights, and I'm trying to keep the actual roadway clear, so I move this power pole up on top to give the clinic a little verticality. I don't know if that's a word, but I just made it a word. And in an ongoing attempt to make this clean, I'm going to try to put the connector inside the tower. But I still have to do some wiring first. Place Anywhere makes it very easy to put everything into its place. So we take a look, and we're almost done. There's something missing on the front, and I recognize that, but I also recognize that I can get away with 1 light bulb because I want to put a light out front. So I'm going to try to help the Xbox out just a little bit, getting rid of a light bulb on the inside. I still think the inside's sufficiently lit, but a neon light I very rarely use the neon. But I also need one more thing. I needed to tell people what this Quonset hut has. A vault. Clinic. No, yeah, I want it there. I want it. No. Oh, it's going to be finicky. It's going to be finicky. All right, that's fine. We'll just place it anywhere. Easy peasy. Nice little Quonset hut. Clinic. For the Nuka World Red Rocket. Just a quick little look through to see if there's anything that I can do. I'll walk through it again later and recognize that that back wall needs to be solid so I can put an X-ray viewing panel on the back, but we won't see that in the walkthrough. Let's go take a quick nap so we can see it in the daytime. All right, it's morning. And is it a bit foggy? Maybe the weather can be improved just a little bit. Yeah, I think the weather can be improved just a little bit. Oh, that's a little better. Welcome to the Nuka World Red Rocket Clinic. Health woes, shot up by raiders, munched on by gator claws. Come to the clinic and get patched up. Nice little receptionist area. I don't have any settlers yet to occupy it at the time I built it, but as of the time of me putting this video together, it is a fully staffed clinic. Someone to sell you your chems. Nice little waiting area. The phoropter, because, you know, your eyes. You don't have your sight. Can't see the mirelurks coming. Man, this corner is bare. I have got to get in here. I've got to decorate that surgery area. That's the one area that's saying, you could have done a little more work here. Nuka World Clinic. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll have another follow-up video at the end of the week. Look forward to hearing from you then. Have a good week. Take care, everybody. Bye.